We have to go to this live and now. A fire raced through multiple shacks at an informal settlement near Laudium in Pretoria this morning, where 5 children were killed, aged between 1 and 7 years, and they were burned beyond recognition. It is alleged that their mothers, who are sisters, locked them in one shack and went to a nearby tavern. And the cause of the fire is still unknown as police investigate. eNCA reporter Bafedile Moerane is on the ground there for us. Bafedile, good afternoon to you. And what more can you tell us in terms of the investigation so far, and what reaction has the community come forward with?
Well, Cindy, it's not a good afternoon at all. It's really a somber mood that's prevailing in this place called eNCA informal settlement near Laudium in Pretoria. Residents here have actually reacted in shock, having to say this devastating incident that had happened in the early hours of the morning around 3 o'clock. The family members are still reeling in shock, some of them still having to cry at this point. And we understand that the statements are still being taken by the police in relation to the investigation. So we're seeing that this is what really happened, even though they are really trying to do a mop-up operation. But it's really devastating since here. So we are going to try and speak to the family members who will actually explain further to us as to how do they really feel about this situation. As we are showing you the scenes, we can see that this is a very congested environment. Hence, perhaps we have seen the shacks, a number of shacks being affected by one of them. It's really not clear as to how the fire actually started, but we also have one of the witnesses to speak to us, telling us what exactly have transpired. I will speak to Rema Songanyi here. He is the father of one of the children here who have been affected. Rema Songanyi, thank you for joining us go eNCA. Baba, sitshele ukuthi lana usizwa kanjani as umdeni?
Umdeni wami mina ukhambe bangishiya endlini bathi bazodisha la nomdeni wabo la.
Yebo la le incident igo amile yang, like how has it affected you?
Ukuthi le pelo botlhoko too much. Na pelo ga botlhoko too much.
Ba ringa ba ro hirahetseng sentle sentle.
Nna ke khono tlhalohanya kana ke no krile ho ntse le so. Batho ba ne ba le mo ke bona ba bone nna ne ke robetse leng.
Yeah, the investigation at this point, did Tamaga, Mapodisi ring, Alikilela Yakonsa statement.
Azanga ba teng nna go ba ira lotse.
Okay, that's Bestama Songanyi is the father of one of the children who have died here. Let me speak to my sister here. She was here. Also, kana libizola ho ke ma?
Ke nna Emma.
Aus Emma tle. Wari le teng dipaki. Go etsagetseng phakela?
Nna ke no makala batho ba go elela, so le nna ka be ke itswa e ke fihla kumana vele wa so.
Bana ba ne ba le kae ha go shwa?
Be ba le ka mogare mo mpeteng.
Ba robetse.
Ba robetse ba khieletswe ka ntle.
Ba khieletswe. Batswadi le hore ba ne ba le kae?
Ba ile bjale.
Ya no investigation se dia re hantse le utla mapodisi ana le fa today ba re.
Bona bana no re motho o tlile a tshela something a fisha. Because why bontsha re go sule di room tsa bona ba babedi. Go ra re boyfriend ya mongwe e tlile ya fisha. Nna ke dewe ke ikoleng go gongwe somewhere ba hena a ke tse gore ke motlhagase gore ke motho mara ba re ka bosiu ba tla o checka mo re se ke ra kolomaka ba tla o checka.
Okay, ya le bo gausema. Cindy, devastating since that you are seeing the 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls, who have lost their lives in this devastating fire that happened in the early hours of the morning. So we understand that the police are still busy with investigations, and they have promised that they will revert to the area tomorrow to continue with the investigations to exactly hear what transpired. We're hearing now that perhaps maybe somebody caused the fire. It's not clear as to whether it was electrical shock or what is happening at this point, but we will try and speak to the police spokesperson in this area later on to find out from them as to what are the investigations saying to them, Cindy.
Or allegation, something that she may have heard, murmurings and rumors in the community that suggest that this could have been a lover's tiff in the sense that it's a disgruntled former lover possibly that had then set the shack alight. We don't know, of course, as you're saying, because police are still investigating. But the neighbors, from what she is articulating, saying that the shack itself was locked from the outside, which then speaks about not only a child neglect, but that in itself endangering the children for them to be locked up in a shack from the outside if anything were to happen anyway. Bafedile? All right, that is eNCA reporter Bafedile Moerane. Bafedile, if you can just hear me, just to translate what the neighbor was saying regarding a possible act of arson that the police would have to investigate, and possibly that there could be a disgruntled lover involved in all of this. But again, these are just rumors so far. It hasn't been confirmed.
Yes, Cindy, it hasn't really been confirmed. So we will try to engage the police later on to hear what is it that they are hearing, because I understand one of the mothers who is alleged to have left and locked the kids inside, she is being taken to the police station to give the statements. So we will hear from that as to what exactly transpired. The police at this point in time are the only reliable source that can give us a clear information, clear indication as to what really happened. As you hear the rumors that it might be a relationship matters, but it's really unclear as to whether it could be confirmed until we speak to the police. So family members who are here also, they're saying that they really do not have a clear story. They don't know what exactly happened. They will have to wait for the mother who has been taken by the police at this point in time to give the statement to the officials, the police officers who are actually investigating this matter, Cindy.
Yes, and we know that these are two siblings, sisters, who lived with their children in the shack. And from what the witness or the neighbor also confirmed, they had gone to a neighboring tavern, locking the children up in the shack, leaving them on their own. And we're talking about toddlers here, young children. But it also maybe speaks, Bafedile, of the conditions in these informal settlements where the substance abuse or any other social ills, lead perhaps to decisions that are not necessarily the best when it comes to the protection of children.
A very worrying situation indeed, Cindy. When I arrived here, a very congested place, very much congested, a place that is very much busy. When you enter the streets, people there having to carry alcohol bottles. So you can just see, when you arrive, the first time visitor in this place, that there is indeed a very serious problem of substance abuse. Now to the point whereby the mother was very much negligent to leave the children on their own. These are toddlers. These are young children aged between 2 years to 7 years who have lost their lives. So, however, we will hear from the police as to whether there is any possible charges that could be taken against anyone, perhaps maybe the mother, because it's understood that she has left the toddlers on their own, which is something very much reckless and something that cannot be tolerated. So we will speak to the relevant stakeholders, in particular the police, who will give us more details as to what could be, what actions could be taken when the situation is like this.
Yeah, and just before we let you go, Bafedile, you spoke to one of the father of one of the children who met their demise in this tragedy, and we saw images of him breaking down in the background, being consoled by community members. What did he have to say earlier?
Well, Cindy is very much devastated, having to cry and say that he doesn't understand how come the mother of the children has left them here on their own. He's saying that he really does not understand what could have transpired. He have not got information from the people who could have seen, or those who have arrived at the scene earlier on in the early hours of the morning. There's a man who had agreed to speak to us on camera, but now he has changed his mind. But he's very much upset to say that it is not right for a woman or a mother to leave toddlers on their own, in particular in place like this. This is a very much congested place. It's an informal settlement. One mistake, hence we are seeing the shacks next to the one that was affected, all of them catching fire and having to leave these devastating scenes. So the residents are here, converged here, having to come and console the family following this devastating news, a somber mood that is reeling, in particular within the family members and the neighbors. So we're still waiting for more information from the police to hear this as to how far the investigations and what charges actually could be posed against anyone who could be held responsible, in particular the mother who have allegedly left and locked the kids inside and went to the tavern.
All right, Bafedile, thank you indeed for that. That's the eNCA reporter Bafedile Moerane. She's out at eTireleng informal settlement in Laudium, where 5 young children were burned beyond recognition after being locked in a shack as their mothers had gone to the local tavern. Also hearing from the neighbors speculation that this could have been due to some love or relationship dispute with one of the fathers, but all of that still remains until police have fully concluded their investigation.